I'm John from Whitewater Vans, and today we are starting a brand new build on a 170 Sprinter, 170 wheelbase. And I'm going to walk through what I do at the very beginning of a van build and hopefully all the parts as we go along. Let's get started. We're going to jump up inside the vehicle here and just take a look at some of the things I do when I first get started on a van. Right at the beginning, and I've already got started a little bit here, there's a wire that goes all along this upper corner here, and it's inside of a piece of plastic case that kind of protects all along this upper corner. This is the factory wiring. I'm going to rewire that factory wiring inside the wall all the way down. So the first thing we're going to do is tear out all that plastic. We're going to pop off all the little hooks that hold that wire in place so that we can remove that wire. So the wire is sort of on the inside here, and we want to put it inside the wall. As we come to the very back, there's a ground bolt right there. So you're going to unbolt the wires from this guy, and then I expand the size of this hole right next to it, if we can see that, and paint the edge, because we're going to run the wire down inside for the D pillar right here. Up inside here, there's a couple clips you're going to unhook. I don't know if we can see up in there, not too well, but there's a couple clips you're going to unhook in there. One of them is for the rear view camera and for the upper light. And then we're going to undo a couple clips in the sides. So there's often one or two clips on each side of the D pillar in the middle that are going to go into the back door through that channel. And there is a clip down at the bottom that plugs into those rear lights. So there's the lights. First thing you do is take those lights off and unplug them. And then you can just unclip those clips in the middle and pull those wires back out. We're not cutting any wires, we're just unplugging them and pulling them all back out. And once we've unbolted that bolt, we can essentially pull the wire all the way back to right here, and we can see it's all just piled up here on the floor. So the wire just comes down to a pile. Quick commercial break. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers and then 100,000 after that. If this video on rewiring is helpful to you, or if you want to see the rest of them in the series on how to build out your van, please subscribe to the channel, like this video if it's helping. I'd love to know if there's other things that you do at the start of your build or things I didn't cover here. Drop me a note below. And what we're going to do is run this wire back inside the wall. So we're going to tuck it up right up in here. It's going to come up along the top, drop down inside the wall. Up above, I like to run it high, up above through here. Right here, you're going to have to drill into this panel. There's two sheets back here, and we're going to drill an 1.5 inch hole just right through both. Might be able to see it in there. Yeah, there's our 1.5 inch hole that we drilled all the way through there. So that's going to run through. It's going to run down through the middle. Now this is a 170 van, and we're going to tuck it behind this channel down in here on those two, and then right back up here, it's going to go still up through the top, up into this upper corner, and then it's going to drop into this rear pillar at the top. It's going to come down the D pillar, and it's going to go inside here and then down the far side D pillar. Then we can reattach those components. Sounds like a lot, doesn't take long, and you're going to reroute all that wire. I also remove all the bolts through the flooring so that the floor is clean. Those holes that the D loops were in, I'm going to put silicone sealant in those just to seal off the holes. And up at the very front, we've removed those foam blocks at the two corners. Remove the foam blocks, and those will go back in later after they've been upholstered. I've also removed our B pillar trim down both sides. Both sides, the D pillar trim is gone. And next, after I've rerouted the wire inside the wall, we're going to remove both front seats. I'm going to put a heater down inside this seat base. I'm gonna attach my alternator charging cable and a fuse down inside the driver's seat base, and then I can reattach those seats. I'm also going to remove this headliner shelf so that I can insulate and put sound deadener up inside the headliner up in there. And then as we put this back together, I will add a shelf up here, a headliner shelf. So this will be sound deadened, it'll be insulated, and then there will be a nice shelf there. And that just kind of starts to get the shell component ready to go. The next thing we're going to start to look at is where we're going to put our windows and fans. So I'm going to put one fan right there in the center of that bay, and the second one probably right back here towards the very back to this bay, and that's going to open up quite a bit of space in the middle for solar panels up on the roof. I'm also going to put my windows in, probably going to be a window right here in the middle. Oftentimes there's one here, depends on your layout. And we're just going to kind of walk through and figure out where our windows are going to be. Now this is inside the room, but it will be tucked up high behind the roof, out of the way. Back inside the wall, all the way down, through the wall, through the inside here. And all the way back to the start. You'll notice there's 2 pins here on the back. Those go here and there. Come around inside, there are 2 little screws, one there, one there. The next thing we do is we add 3M heavy-bodied seam sealer. And we add that all these little flanges. Many of these don't have a lot of seam sealer in them, and so we go through every flange and put a little seal in there just to make sure. Mostly this is important on these back doors. If you're going to mount anything onto the back doors, you want these to be as solid as possible. So everywhere a flange touches that outside wall, we're going to go through and put a little bit of that heavy-bodied seam sealer just to make sure that all of these seams are nice and tight against the outside wall. The next couple videos coming up is on the heater installation and the headliner shelf and all the insulation that goes up above the headliner. So subscribe to the channel, like this video if it helped, drop a comment down below, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks a bunch.